Okay, and there we are live. Good day and welcome back to another episode of the Air Force Podcast. My name is Jaco and today we've got Dr. Guzel Bikbova with us. Thanks a lot for being here, Doctor. Thanks a lot for all your time today.
Thank you for this opportunity and for being invited to your episode, and I hope our talk will be very fruitful and informative for your audience.
Thanks a lot. And just before this recording, you just mentioned you have two PhDs. You are a medical doctor. Please tell me how you got started with that. You've mentioned that you wanted to make a difference in your own life. Please tell me about that.
Yes, I'm from Russia, I need to say, and from a place called Bashkortostan. This is located in the middle of Russia. And I graduated from the medical university at 2004, and I was looking for the opportunity to study abroad. And while I was looking for such specializations, I was working in Ufa Eye Research Institute, where I performed my first PhD. So it was in Moscow, in Moscow Eye Research Institute. So my specialization was keratoplasty. So we were making research for treating keratoconus with epikeratoplasty. And then when I did that, someone advised me that there are such a program as called like Monbuka Gakusho Mixed. It was a scholarship from the Japanese government. And without any back thought, I just applied with my research proposal to this program. And through the evaluation, I was selected, and then I got a kind of interview in the embassy of Japan in Moscow, and they suggested me the program. They included me in the program, the researcher. So that's how I get into Japan. And then I entered the postgraduate study in Japan. So I finalized the study here. I studied here for 5 years. I got my second PhD. And it was we started the diabetic retinopathy, the neuroprotective and neurodegenerative therapies. Until now, I'm working still on this topic, and it was a pretty good study. We published a lot of papers with our research group. So far, after graduation, they suggested me a position of research fellow, and I stayed in Japan as a research fellow, and then later as an assistant professor in the Department of Ophthalmology in the University of Chiba University. And so far, that's how I get into Japan, and I work until now here. Yeah.
Okay, that is quite a mouthful. So, please tell me, and we've also discussed this prior to the recording. Please tell me about you've talked about seed oils, a lot of seed oils in the diet these days. You've talked about good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, and then also about sugar. Please tell me how did you get into this thing of the seed oils and the load of consumptions that people have a lot of consumption of these seed oils these days. Please tell me about that.
Yes, so as I mentioned before, our study was focused on finding the neuroprotective and neurodegenerative therapies for the diabetic retinopathy. So I went very deep into diabetic neuropathy, and but because I'm ophthalmologist, my study was a bit limited. At that time, it was about maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, I got my own health problems, which pushed me to get a bit deeper into the medicine, and I would say alternative medicine. And because I have a background of a researcher, so I was studying the health from the holistic point of view with my researcher's mind. And because we already had some kind of results that, for example, advanced application products, they contribute a lot into the development of the diabetic retinopathy, I was looking into the subject from that point and studying how we are getting diabetes. So what was the cause? And actually, not so far ago, recently, there was a paper that found out that there was in 60s, the sugar industry, they paid the researchers in order to downgrade the effect of the sugars on the health and demonize the cholesterol, the effect of cholesterol. And since that, historically, we have a shift. When the cholesterol was demonized, the saturated fats, they become our enemy, and our breakfast, let's say, our main food become the carbs. We are eating a lot of simple carbs. So, which I don't say that the carbs are wrong, but in which quantity and in which quality, this really does matter. And for example, we have the main classes of fatty acids. Maybe you know the saturated fatty acids, unsaturated, monosaturated fatty acids, and polyunsaturated fatty acids. So from this polyunsaturated fatty acids, we have omega-3 and omega-6. That's also very known. And this omega-3 and omega-6, this is the position and double bond in this chain of those fatty acids that make them 3 or 6. And both of them are important in our food, but the ratio of them is also how can I say, the ratio of those omega-3 and omega-6, they will be telling what will happen in our in our body. Will it be prone to the inflammation or not? And also, the effect of this omega-3 and omega-6 they are provoking the development of intestinal infections, because they are source for they are food for not only for us, but for intestinal bacteria such as Clostridium, Salmonella, the Escherichia coli. And all such bacteria, they produce endotoxins. For some minimum amount, we need that endotoxins because they are stimulating the innate immune system. But a large amount of these endotoxins, they will cause a problem, and they will be cause of the development of many diseases. So historically, I need to say, saturated fat was the main source of the fat in the food. So maybe you remember from your childhood, or maybe you remember from what your grandma was cooking. So they were using lard, beef tallow, and such a natural fat, the butter, the cream, the ghee, oil, this is clarified butter, and cheese, a lot of cheese. But around 50 years ago, we see that the amount of the seed oils are getting, the consumption of it getting more and more. And this, especially significant increase of the consumption of the seed oils is coming from 1990s. So, maybe you hear a lot of nutritionists, the dietitians, they are suggesting us such as seed oils. It's many different seed oils right now available, including grapeseed oil. They, this healthy flaxseed oils are very much promoted. But unfortunately, they are the source of the omega-6, which causes the inflammation in our body. So in order to omega-3 be beneficial for us, it must come with a saturated fat. And I think this point is very much missed nowadays. This is fundamentally contradicted the all dietary recommendations which we have nowadays. And if we are looking, for example, from the point of view, I wanted to make a note for especially children development, because this is very important, what the health of our future generations, let's say, right? So what mother is eating during the pregnancy. So the modern dietary recommendations right now can be harmful for her if she's avoiding saturated fat. So for example, the protein and the carbohydrate amount in the breast milk is usually stable, but the amount of the fat will also always depend on what mother is eating. So if she's under eating the saturated fats, then the milk will be empty, let's say. So it will not have enough saturated fat for the baby, and this will increase the risk of development of the intestinal infections for the kid. And what does it mean? So that means that the microbiome, the diversity of the microbiome will be decreased. So kid will not have enough amount of healthy bacteria in the intestines.
can I quickly interrupt you here
Yes.
before you continue? You've now talked about the microbiome and that they would not have the correct amount of that in the stomach, in the intestines. And what effect would that have on the consumption, not the consumption of the food, but taking in the correct nutrients from the food, taking in the correct things that people will need from the food, and does that have an effect on that as well?
Well, definitely. The diversity of the microbiome depends on our food, definitely. But we are right now talking about the developing child, and most of the bacteria it will get from the mother during the delivery, going through the maternal delivery tract. And the rest, the development of this microbiome will be dependent on what mother is eating. Because literally, if she has her own microbiome not so good, let's say, her milk will be not having enough microbes, and the kid will not have a chance to get a very rich microbiome. So, and unfortunately, with not enough fatty acids and not enough fats, microbiome diversity will not be optimal, because it's not only about the fiber, you know. So the health of intestines depends on the fat. The
Uh,
the less the less fatty acids we have, the more intestines are prone to the inflammation. So if you ever heard the leaky gut, this is exactly the case when the there is inflammation in the intestinal epithelium, which breaks down, and like the absorption is not optimal.
Okay, if I understand that correctly, that is not only in unborn children, but in normal people as well, everyday people as well.
Yes, of course, of course. Right now,
Okay.
for example, as you see, there is a rise of the popularity of such a plant-based diet, the vegetarian diet, the
Mm.
vegan even diet, when the people are completely depriving themselves from any sort of, not only I would say protein, any kind of fats in their diet. And unfortunately, it's the consequences of this diet is terrible. And don't get me wrong, I don't like there are, always the two sides of the medal. So it doesn't mean we have to eat only fat and protein. But we are omnivores, and we are eating everything. We need definitely animal products in our diet in order to keep the optimal health. And it's especially important for the mother, for the future mother, and for the developing child. Because the amount of the saturated fat, this is our health immunity, this is our brain health, and this is our potential Alzheimer's disease. Right now, Alzheimer's disease, for example, is called already diabetes type 3. So literally, excess of sugar in the blood will cause the kind of change turnover of the protein and of fats in the brain, and that will cause the degenerative changes in the brain.
Okay, and then there's a lot of claims about seed oils being good for heart health, being good for cholesterol. What's your take on that? What does the research say about that?
Yes, so as I said, the historically unprecedented consumption of vegetable oils, it happened not it's not a historical. This is just recent 50 years, 50, 70 maximum years, And they are this excessive consumption of the seed oils brings a lot of polyunsaturated fatty acids to our system. And this is depleting the capacity of our body to fight the oxidative stress, And so by this, we are causing this cascades of the free radicals, And this changes the membrane of the cells. So the membrane of our cells, each cell in our body is made of phospholipids, so basically from saturated fats, And when we are eating excess of the seed oils, and body has no capacity to rebuild the cell membrane, and it has to put this polyunsaturated fats into this cellular structure. And by this, So we are getting, I cannot say liquefied, but this is definitely damaged cell structure, you know, especially it can irreversibly damage mitochondria. This is the energy factory in the cells. And by this, we are getting all problems caused by not efficient mitochondria, which cannot produce the energy. Oxidative stress increases, and we are getting damaged our DNA, you know, and so it's in general, this is causing a toxic effect on the body.
Okay, and then what is the difference, or the difference then between eating, I would say, plant-based fats and then eating, I would say, animal-based fats? What is the difference that have on your body?
Well, as I said, the difference is that your cell structure will be built according to the fat you eat. So basically, you are what you eat. If you eat excessive seed oils, your cells will have to be built from this linoleic acid. And when we eat saturated fat, then the structure will be complete, because we are animals, you know, and we need our cells. Like we need this saturated fats in order to rebuild our cell structure. And moreover, the cholesterol, we are demonizing cholesterol. We hear about this, that the cholesterol is bad, and that this is the contributing factor for the heart disease. But already there are many studies that they prove that dietary cholesterol does not rise the cholesterol in the blood, you know. So this is the synthetic property of the liver. Liver is synthesizing the cholesterol when we have inflammation in the body. So those people who consume a lot of seed oils, they have elevated cholesterol, because that's indication that the body is fighting with the inflammation, and they are producing this cholesterol in order to literally cover the damaged areas, you know. Usually people who eat a lot of plenty saturated fats, they don't have elevated cholesterol, and they have a good amount of this high density lipoproteins, like opposing for the slow density lipoproteins, which are definitely the factor for the heart diseases. So there are also studies already that the concentration of the linoleic acid, which comes from the seed oils, it's positively associated with the degree of the coronary heart diseases. So there are studies available. So that means the more consumption of the seed oils in your diet, then there are higher risk for the heart disease.
Okay, and the relationship between the higher use of seed oils and cholesterol, how significant is that?
So yes, as I said, like if simply say the more seed oils you eat, the higher the amount of inflammation in your body, and and this inflammation is damaging the epithelial cells in the vessels, and this cholesterol, which is being produced to stop the inflammation, it's are sticking to the inflamed endothelial cells, you know, which is the inflammation is caused by seed oils. So, and that's how the atherosclerosis is being developed, you know. So so you understand. So in order to decrease the inflammation in the body, we have to completely stop the seed oils. I would say like we have to eliminate seed oils 100% from our diet. And the turnover of the adipose tissue is 4 years. So that means if you stop eating the seed oils, you have to keep that going on for 4 years until your body is completely turning over, rebuilding the adipose tissue, and restructurize it, you know. So during these 4 years, you have to be very committed to the eating the saturated fats, like to keep your diet healthy, not so much refined sugars, in order to also not to produce this advanced glycation end products. So that's how it is, you know.
So in your diet, you do not take any seed oils. You don't take anything. You don't use it in your foods. You don't use it for baking your foods or cooking your foods.
No, absolutely,
You don't
absolutely
use it.
not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. And I don't let my children to eat out fried food because if the food is fried, I don't know which oil is that, what seed oils like this sunflower oil or canola oil. Definitely, I don't allow them that. And if you know the original recipe of the McDonald's fried potatoes in the 1960s, they were frying potatoes in the beef tallow. It was replaced only maybe after like decade, after 5-10 years, to the vegetable oils in order to cut the cost of this production of this food. But original recipe, so original French fried potatoes, they were fried in the beef tallow.
Okay, and then this seed oils and then the vegetable oils, if I'm correct, they convert to something called trans fat. What does that consist of, and why is that bad for you?
Trans fats, this is definitely trans fats. This is not natural fats. So simply say trans fat. This is the seed oils which was hydrogenated. They were adding the I forget the word. They add the hydrogen in order to make this liquid seed oil hard. So that's the how margarine is made. So margarine is the hard. It looks like a butter, but it's not a butter. This is just a synthetic hydrogenated seed oil, which looks like a hardened substance. This is even worse for you, because this is synthetic. It has nothing to do with the natural oil, and it has zero benefit for our health. So if you want to improve your health, this is the first thing you have to give up completely. The margarine and such stuff, spreads like all this. Now I see the canola oil, which is combined with the olive oil. It's also like hardened type, and and it's written 100% something healthy. This is no, 100% no.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
So the only vegetable oil which is healthy, this is extra virgin olive oil, and I would definitely recommend that like to take it with the salads, but not to cook it on. This is not oil to cook on, because when you cook the vegetable oils, it's oxidizes very fast, and it's generating these free radicals. It's becoming much more toxic. So the coconut oil, the extra virgin olive oil, those are vegetables oils to be consumed. They are fine. If you want to cook anything you cook, I would suggest only to use animal oils like ghee butter, even for baking, like for anything, for frying, only animal-based oils, animal oils.
okay, and now I want to go a bit away from the oils and talk about a lot of substitutes for these kind of products. A lot of substitutes for butter and cream and this kind of things is some things like almond milk, almond butter, you know, all of those things, soy. What's your take on that? What did you say about that?
Well, look, this is it's really almonds have nothing to do neither with the milk, neither with the butter. Just think yourself. So there is no such a thing as almond butter. There is no such thing as almond milk. So those seed butters, the peanut butter, the almond butter, any kind of nut butter, macadamia nut butter, those are same seed oils. So I would say cold pressed, sometimes maybe one spoon will not make a thing, but if you are regularly taking it, it will not make any good to you. And almond milk, soy milk, they have nothing even close to the milks. You have to just think about that, because what is the composition of the milk? This is a protein, this is mostly fat. They have fat-soluble vitamins, which are very precious for us. The milk is a great product. Right now, it's a lot of discussion about that, but still, still the milk I consider as a superfood. Of course, there are people who may have intolerances. They don't tolerate milk well. And another question is the production of such a milk. For example, how the cow was grown, or what it was eating, did it take any antibiotics or hormonal injections? That's another thing, of course. But the healthy cow, which was pasteurized, which was like able to happily live its life and eating grass, without any injection and hormones, it's producing a superfood which is rich with the fat-soluble vitamins, which is rich with the riboflavin, the vitamin B2, which is very necessary for the children's development. And many children right now, they are in a deficiency of this riboflavin, So, yeah, and when you are taking this milky substance from the seeds, from the nuts, it has zero benefits also. It has zero nutritional benefits for the human. Yeah, and it's
Okay.
definitely, it's not a substitute for milk.
Okay, and then on the topic of milk, then the difference between full cream milk and low fat milk. What is a big difference, and what would you recommend for people? Um, just in general, speaking, not based on any particular condition, just in general health.
Yes, full fat milk and the low fat milk, the difference is that the cream was removed from this milk and it become low fat. So that's how the low fat milk is created. The health benefits of it is questionable, because I would always prefer to take a full fat milk, because the presence of the fat in the food, in the milk, it's regulate our sugar level in the blood, So for example, if you take the glass of the food fat milk, the sugar level will be much more stable if you just take the fat-free milk, because it has a natural sugar, the lactose, and it will give a small increase of the like the spike of the sugar in your blood. So in that sense, the full fat milk will benefit you much more. The other question, like when you can take the fat-free products. So I would not recommend to take it to anyone, honestly. As a temporary measure, maybe for the people who are trying to lose weight, even though even for them, it's better to take a full fat milk rather than just to look for such a substitute and take low fat products. For many years, as I said, cholesterol was a kind of enemy for us, especially for people who were trying to prevent the development of the cardiovascular diseases. Like they were recommended to eat less eggs, yolks, right? To substitute the food fat milk to the fat-free milk and stuff. But the studies show that that was a mistake. This is a historical mistake, the cholesterol-free, low-fat diet is no good, and it does not prevent from the development of the heart disease, neither diabetes and neither any other disease.
Okay, and then
The
correlation
amount
between, no, please continue. Please continue.
yeah, yes, I forget what I want to say. Honestly, I was saying that the amount of the sugar, the refined sugar, the amount of the synthetic foods, the packaged food, the ready food, the amount of the trans fats, the seed oils, all those are contributions, the great contributions for the development of the health problems in the first place.
Okay, then I would like to know about the correlation between diabetics and just maybe a high sugar intake, a high sugar diet, not necessarily diabetics in this case, and the forming of maybe heart diseases, any kind of weaknesses in the heart, or maybe even cholesterol. What is the correlation between those things?
Right now, the research, the science is coming to the point that all those diseases, they're connected. The development of the atherosclerosis, the diabetes, the heart diseases, they are all connected. So the starting mechanism is the same, because all those are starting at some point from the insulin resistance. So this insulin resistance is the great factor in the development of this cascade of the pathological changes which happens in our body, which brings to the development of atherosclerosis, then later diabetes, and altogether that they will bring you to the heart disease, you know.
Okay, so what you're saying is sugar is these days more the enemy than fats or the enemy these days. Or
I would say not sugar, not alone. You know, the sugar is the simple sugar is not our enemy, because there are also the studies which shows that there is a actually way to treat diabetes by the only carbs diet. You know, but this combination of the high amount of sugar with the trans fats and the seed oils and these unnatural synthetic foods which we right now have in abundance, you know, such as this packaged, I don't know, snacks, chips, cookies, all those. This is I would say this is a bomb of the refined sugar and seed oils, you know. So this combination is making us sick. So this increasing the inflammation in our body, which later will cause the other problems.
Okay, and then with the inflammation in the body, as you mentioned, then your body sends then basically cholesterol to your arteries, to all of your veins, to the places in your body with the inflammation. What can you do to combat that? What can you do to reverse those effects? You've mentioned going from plant-based seed oils to only using animal-based oils or extra virgin olive oil, as you said. But is there any other things that we can do daily in our diet to just lower it or maybe combat that kind of effect that those kind of things have?
Well, definitely. So the first step is to improve the health of digestive tract. I think this is the base of the basics, you know, because from the digestive tracts, how we are digesting, how we are absorbing, everything comes from there. So when we want to make a step in our like way to the health, we have to start from the elimination of the this inflammatory foods and working on the health of the digestive tracts. This is contributes you remove everything which causes inflammation. So, and the very, very convenient diet in that sense is the elimination diet, when you remove everything from your diet, literally everything. So you just eat several days you can eat the bone broth, you eat the saturated fats, and then you eat meat, and then one by one you are adding products to see if you have any reactions. You start from the cooked vegetables, then one by one you bring the grains and maybe raw vegetables, fruits, and you see if you have any reaction to that. Maybe it's not yet time to bring this food back, so you step aside and leave it for a while. So until the full healing, it may take from 3 to 6 months. For some people, it may take up to 1 year. Then it may be necessary to supplement with the enzymes and the bile, oxybile, for example. It may be necessary to look if you have enough stomach acidity. All those will definitely improve your health of the digestive tracts. And after that, you can, by eating the whole foods, the high nutrition foods, nutrient dense food, you will slowly replenish your body from the deficiencies that already appeared, that was caused by this unhealthy foods. The very important factor is the high refined sugar, this trans fat foods, they are depleting us from the minerals. So, for example, excessive sugar consumption depletes many minerals from our body, such as magnesium, zinc, copper, and iron as well, because the bioavailable iron we can get only from the meat products, from the organs. You cannot get bioavailable iron from the plant-based food, So And these developing deficiencies, they are also contributing into the increase of the inflammation in the body. So that's why it's so important to eat the nutrient-dense food so you don't have the deficiencies. And to not have these deficiencies, you need the optimal work of the digestive tract. So you are absorbing these nutrients.
Okay. And
so what else I forget to say? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then you've mentioned that you should start with the elimination diet. What is the steps you should take with that? How long is the period you should experiment with that? How exactly should people do that?
Well, the elimination diet, as I said, is of course it's better if you find a good practitioner, the functional medicine practitioner or nutritionist, and do it together under observation. But simply, as I said, like you eliminate all food for the 1-2 weeks and eat abundance of the bone broth. So this bone broth, it will provide you with the amino acids, with the collagen, with the fatty acids. That will be a healing substance for your gut. And as long as your gut started healing, it will be able to absorb more nutrients. After that, you will bring more foods. That would include meat, that would include cooked vegetables. Then you try one by one. Like, for example, you want to start eating bread again. You try one day and wait for the reaction, 24 hours. If you don't have any reaction, then you can eat this food. By reaction, I mean any kind of reaction, from rash on the skin to the indigestion and flatulence, like any kind of problems, in the digestive tract. So that would also mean that there is a reaction. So if you have any reaction, then you stop and forget this food for a while.
Okay.
So like that, one by one, you already can make a list of which food you are able to eat, which food you are not able to eat. And this food which you are not able to eat, it doesn't mean you don't, you cannot eat them for lifetime. No, of course not. But by improving your digestive tract further, you will bring this food back again. But in any way, what I can suggest you that the basis of your food should include the animal products, red meat, so the high nutrient food, red meat, organ meat, fish, fatty fish, this fish roe, caviar, the butter, cheese, creams, cheese, like any kind of cheeses, the goat cheese, for example, is very rich with the copper. So with such foods, we are getting the bioavailable minerals and the fat-soluble vitamins. For fat-soluble vitamins to be able to be absorbed, we need fats. Yes, and we need also.
Would you suggest people supplement with omega-3, omega-6 supplementation, and maybe with vitamins? What's your take on that?
Oh, yes, right now, I hear a lot about this supplementation of omega-3, but too much omega-3 can be as inflammatory as omega-6. I honestly don't see any benefit to just supplementing yourself with omega-3. Besides, we don't know how it was produced. You have to trust the quality of the omega-3 because during the production it can be oxidized, and maybe the omega-3 you got in the supplement, it's already has no any benefits to you. In order for omega-3 to be absorbed and to work well in the body, you need saturated fat anyway. You need saturated fats. And best form of omega-3 if you eat fatty fish, caviar, that's enough of omega-3. If you eat organ meats, for example, if you eat brain of the animals, it has a lot of omega-3.
Please tell me more about the supplements that you're making as well.
Yes, the developing of supplements, that was a kind of continue of our work, of our research work, and we opened a company which right now produces several positions of the supplements, and the goal of those supplements is, how can I say, to enrich the diet, because we are trying to use as less chemical as possible and to use as natural ingredients as possible. So right now we have in a line the collagen, different types of collagen, this marine collagen, made from salmon. And we produce a nattokinase. Nattokinase is a systemic enzyme which helps to decrease the systemic inflammation, which helps to lower the amount of the bad cholesterol in the blood. And some children's chewables, we call it as a immune stimulator for the children based on the goat milk. The goat milk, lactoferrin, and royal jelly. So this is also a very good combination, I believe, for the children. And the digestive bitters in the drink form. So this is for stimulation of the digestive tract, the stimulation of the healthy healthy release of the digestive juices. So we use also different combination of the herbs, which provides you with a bitter taste, which is necessary for the healthy digestion.
Okay. Okay, and then I think on this note, I'm going to stop the recording. And just before I'm going to stop the recording, just tell me, where can people find you? Where can people see some of your work? Where can they reach out to you if they have any questions? Please let me know.
Yes, I have a website and I have an Instagram page. We have a lot of publications there regarding health, improvement of health. And I have a program I built which calls like 30 Healthy Habits, which also help you to go through these stages, which includes the elimination diet also. There are healthy recipes how to improve your health without too much investing in that.
Okay, perfect. Okay, then I'm going to stop the recording here. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.